What is up, guys? It is Joe back again talking about the Kansas State Wildcats. Back to the football side of things with an exciting new episode. Today I wanted to make a video and kind of talk you through 5 bold predictions that I think could come true for the upcoming 2024 football season. There's 5 things I want to talk about in today's video. I got the idea kind of from that Rich Eisen power ranking style video, so that's kind of the intended theme here, but I wanted to talk about some things that I think could happen. Some bold predictions that aren't just like K-State makes the college football playoff or something where it's like conceivable but also not as bold as you'd think. So in this case, I wanted to make 5 bold predictions that I feel good about happening in the upcoming season. Guys, before I do get into things, let me remind you, if you like K-State Athletics, if you like the channel, consider taking a few seconds out of your day and click that subscribe button. It does help me out immensely, and it helps us build up a bigger tribe of K-State fans just like yourself, just like myself, to talk with, to grind with, to get through the season with. That is always something we're looking to do, so be sure and consider joining in on that. But guys, let's start here with the first bold prediction for the upcoming season. Now, before I say this, none of these are in order of like most likely to least likely. It's just the 5 order that they came to me in. So that being said, there's my PSA. Number 1, the first K-State football bold prediction for the 2024 season is this. Keegan Johnson will lead the Kansas State wide receiver corps in total receiving yards in the upcoming season. Now, I know that one already has people with their pitchforks ready. Guys, I know Keegan Johnson wasn't the dude that we all anticipated last season, but he really did start to show some flashes down the stretch. Now, since these are bold predictions, I'm kind of convincing you of this, so I understand that these might not be things that we're all like, yeah, that's going to happen for sure. But I feel good about where Keegan Johnson's at in the season. He was never truly healthy last season. I mean, I think towards the end of the stretch, he seemed to get things under his feet a little bit, but finished off last season with 24 catches, 227 yards, 2 scores. Down the stretch, basically, things started to take off in that Texas game, and then he looked to be a solid contributor. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the number 1 receiver. He's the number 1 option all the time. But that Texas game had 7 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. Just 1 touchdown in that game. I was remembering an extra touchdown. That's on me. Keegan Johnson, I know we're going to have competition with guys like Jace Brown, guys like Dante Cephas that I think are going to have 500-600 yards each. So that being said, if that happens, Keegan Johnson is going to be a 750-ish yard receiver in my mind. That's where I rest my case. Keegan Johnson becomes that dude for Kansas State, and he is the leading receiver. That's my first bold prediction. Number 2, one of K-State's 4 additions to the transfer portal this offseason will finish the season as a first-team All-Big 12 honoree. Not just an honorable mention, not just a second team. I'm talking first-team All-Big 12. Either Easton Kitley, the offensive lineman from North Dakota, Travis Bates, the defensive lineman. You have Jordan Riley, the safety, and you have, I'm forgetting the last guy, what am I saying? Dante Cephas. I don't know why I forgot Cephas. One of those 4 players will finish the season as a first-team All-Big 12 guy. Shout out to this alfalfa right here, tucking out. It is what it is. We're going to roll with it. My pick for this, and it might not be the easiest one that comes to mind, I think if you had to rank the hierarchy of guys that would finish first-team All-Big 12, it probably starts and ends with Easton Kitley just because the offensive line position. K-State's got a lot of respect from the media, from other coaches, from different players on the offensive line. But I'm actually going to point at the 2 defensive players we added. I'm going to point at both Travis Bates and Jordan Riley. Now, Jordan Riley has the potential. Both guys have the potential, but I'm saying for the way the cards were dealt, Jordan Riley has a shot. He's playing the jack safety position in the middle of the defense. That's already been confirmed by the coaching staff. It's the Kobe Savage position. It's a couple of guys that kind of rotate in. You're going to have to stand out in a safety secondary group that has VJ Payne, that has Marquise Siegel, that has a guy like Jacob Parrish on the outside. We'll see what happens to the second corner, but I think Jordan Riley is probably my pick of these 4 to go first-team All-Big 12. And that's not to discredit any other guys. I mean, Dante Cephas could still finish with, 650, 700 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns on the year. And that would probably be good enough for first-team All-Big 12. But I feel good about Jordan Riley coming in and immediately making an impact for this defense. Travis Bates I could rave about. I think K-State's D-line is going to be one of the best in the Big 12 this season. As long as you get Malcolm and Crowder out there, you got Uso on a 6-year, you've got Travis Bates, you've got Brendan Mott back, Cody Stufflebean. You've got a lot of guys coming around. I think K-State's defensive line, the big-bodied, focused presence with a guy like Travis Bates, with a guy like Big Mac, that's going to be a big deal. So I would expect Travis Bates to also have a solid season, but I don't know if he will get to that first-team All-Big 12. If I had to take a pick, I'm going with Jordan Riley. Next, the third bold prediction for Kansas State football in 2024. This is one of my personal favorites. DJ Giddens will pass Deuce Vaughn's best season as a Wildcat, where he totaled 1,936 total yards, all-purpose yards. DJ Giddens will break the 2,000-yard mark and beat out Deuce Vaughn's best season. Now, this isn't a competition. I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I'm not saying whatever. Deuce Vaughn is one of the best Kansas State running backs of all time. One of the best players in Kansas State history. Nobody's disagreeing with that. But when you look through DJ Giddens' numbers, this is a dude who walked on at K-State coming out of Junction City. Like a guy that didn't get the love from recruits. You go, you learn behind Deuce Vaughn, you have 300-400 yards in your first year. Then boom, 1,200 yard back as the starter. And that's operating alongside Trayshawn Ward. DJ Giddens this season was 387 all-purpose yards behind Deuce's best season. That's that almost 2,000-yard season with 12 touchdowns on the season. Obviously, Deuce had the 22 touchdown outing before this as a sophomore. He had 22 touchdowns in 2021. 2022, Deuce was technically the best, or peak Deuce, I would say. 1,936 yards. DJ passes that with, let's say, 1,500, 1,600 yards on the ground as the solo lead back. You're not going to have to worry about Trayshawn Ward being out there poaching 500-600 yards. I think DJ Giddens gets it done. And if you get to the 2,000-yard mark, you're in the conversation for the Doak Walker. I mean, that's hard to disagree with. I think DJ Giddens gets it done, especially with an offensive mind like Conor Riley, who is the subject of our fourth bold prediction. Number 4, offensive coordinator Conor Riley quickly silences all doubters and proves to be one of the brightest offensive minds in the Big 12 Conference. One of the best play callers in the Big 12 Conference. Now, I know that people might roll their eyes at the whole new offensive coordinator step into the light thing. As a former offensive line coach, I'm buying the Conor Riley hype. I am. That's just me. I love the way he thinks about football. I love the way he's focused on using the offensive line to establish position, but also knows that you don't just run the football to run the football. You have to understand the different tie-ins, and that's why bringing a guy like Matt Wells is so advantageous for this team. You bring in a guy that's like, the king of screens. Like, this is a dude that has so much success operating with tight ends, operating in different screen packages. You have a really good foundation, and I think having a guy like Conor Riley on the staff is going to be massive. Conor Riley feels like the next dude to step up. They've talked about it all offseason. This isn't going to be a complete 180. We're not going to run the triple option, which he jokes about at times, which I actually think would be kind of sick. I know that that's not going to happen, but that'd be kind of sick just once to see. I think Conor Riley goes out there, shuts everybody up, puts on an all-out performance, and I think K-State rolls with him as the OC because it's a refined offensive scheme. It's always been developed. They've talked about it. This isn't a Colin Klein scheme. This isn't a Courtney Messingham scheme. This is something that started with one guy, and then since Chris Kleiman's been here, people continue to add on. Some people make it worse. Some people make it better. And along that path, you eventually get to a refined sword if you want to go with the K-State forging idea for the basketball team. I trust Conor Riley to add another unique wrinkle into that and truly ground and pound with DJ Giddens, but also establish a really, really, really tough to stop offense in 2024. And the final prediction, my 5th bold prediction for the upcoming season, maybe this isn't that bold, and it might make some people mad, but I'm rolling with it. In 2024, Kansas State football, we will see lavender accent pieces on at least one alternate jersey, at least. Now, will we have lavender helmets? I doubt it. Will we have entirely lavender jerseys? I doubt it. But you know the way the women's Wildcat script looks with the outline of the lavender around the different numbers? It would be absolutely killer to see that. You could put a stripe of lavender down the left side of the pant. Like, I know that people are kind of hit or miss about like, well, lavender's not a school color. Neither is silver. Shout out Tim Fitzgerald for that stat. Neither is silver. And K-State's worn silver for the past, 1,000 years. Like, it's just always been the way it is. I think K-State will add in some lavender this season. I think it'll probably likely be an accent piece around, maybe outlines of Howard Cat. We will see alternate colors and we will see alternate logos in the upcoming season. Enough of the helmet curse. Let's break it. Let's break this thing off and let's kick it off into 2024. I am so excited to see it. I cannot wait to get started. But guys, these are my 5 picks for my 5 bold predictions. Keegan Johnson leading the team in receiving yards. One of K-State's 4 transfers will finish first team All Big 12. DJ Giddens passes the 2,000-yard mark and Deuce's best season. Conor Riley becomes one of the best offensive coordinators very, very quick in the Big 12. And the 5th one would be that lavender accent pieces on the jerseys. But guys, if you like this video, go ahead and drop a bold prediction of your own in the comment section. I know I could have gone with the K-State makes the college football playoff. It doesn't feel bold to me. Doesn't feel bold to me. I think these dudes have that path, and that's a little bit more conceivable than some of the stuff on this list. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you here soon. Once again, be sure to like and subscribe. Do everything you can. If you're interested in helping out, it helps me out immensely, and I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and enjoy some of this beautiful weather. Talk to you soon. Go Cats.